Well, hello everyone. I hope you're having a great Thursday so far. And I hope that you are believing by faith that God's going to make this whole day great. Whatever comes your way, you just believe that God's going to bring the best out for you. Welcome to today's edition of Take 5. Hey, this week we are breaking down the message I preached Sunday. That message was entitled, Stay in the Pool. Now, if you're wondering, what is he talking about, stay in the pool? The pool just simply represents God's will, God's presence. It represents, your complete obedience to the desire that God has for you. It represents your purpose. It represents you walking with God, hand in hand and step in step. That's all it means to stay in the pool when we use that phrase. We are drawing from a text in 1 John chapter 2, verse number 28 that says, "Now, dear children, remain in Him," or stay in the pool. You get it? Remain in Him so that when He is revealed, we may have joyful confidence and not be ashamed when we stand before Him at His appearing. Remain in Him. You can use the word remain. You can use the word abide. You can use the word continue. You can use the word stay like we're using for our phrase, stay in the pool. Whatever the case may be, when you use one of those words, it has the idea that it is possible to get out and get in, and get in and get out. So we have got to contend with something that doesn't want us to remain or abide. We've got to contend with that. And sometimes it just might be our own desires, our own thinking about the subject. And so we have got to stay in the pool. Now, without a doubt, God has a plan and a purpose for every person alive today, and those that are going to be born in the future. God has a divine, unique plan for them that is beyond His desire for them to get saved. And the only way that any of it can be accomplished, even salvation, the only way that it can be accomplished is if we cooperate with His will. God has spoken great things about you, about me, about everyone, and He has them recorded since before the foundation of the world. They are recorded, and the only thing that can stop them is our willingness or unwillingness to obey. That's the only thing that can stop it. The devil can't stop it. Haters can't stop it. People can't stop it. Politicians can't stop it. Nobody can stop it but you. Your willingness is the only thing that God will limit Himself by. Now listen to that. Your willingness is the only thing that God will limit Himself. No man can limit God, and no man can stop God, but God will limit Himself, and He does that according to our response of obedience or disobedience according to His plan. Now we learned a couple of things, and we talked about Abraham. We learned that sometimes God will reveal His intentions for you outside the pool to get you to come into the pool. That's what He did for Abraham. Talked to him while he was a pagan and called him and showed him and revealed him the plan that He had for his life just to get Abraham in the pool. Then when God calls you to the pool, you got to be willing to leave where you are to go get in it. Abraham had to leave everything to go get in the pool God was calling him to. Now, once you get in the pool, today's point, once you get in the pool, you've got to stay in the pool because it's the only safe place to be. Once you get there, stay. Don't be doing the in and out. Too many people are in and out of God's will. Friend, it's time that we get somewhere and learn what it is to be steadfast. I'm talking to saved people as well today. I know you think that might be for unsaved. No. I'm talking to saved people today too, and I'm not questioning your salvation. I'm questioning your consecration. Are you committed to what God? Are you willing to stay in the pool where God wants you so that His will can be accomplished? And you need to do it because that's the safest place to be. That's where God's blessing is. Israel found out while they were in Egypt. They lived in a little a sub area of Egypt there called Goshen. And they found out as long as they stayed in Goshen there, when all of the plagues were coming that God sent against Egypt, they were safe. Swarms of flies came into Egypt, but there wasn't one mosquito over in Goshen. The water was turned into blood in Egypt, but in Goshen they had clear water. Frogs everywhere, hailstones falling from heaven, destroying everything, but not one hailstone, not one frog in Goshen. It's important to stay in the pool when God puts you there. And then when darkness came over all of the land of Egypt, darkness so thick it could be felt, there was light in the land of Goshen. God separated, made a distinction between His people, and because they stayed in the pool, they were not affected by those plagues. And then the last plague, you know, that death angel, that destroyer came over the land, and all of the firstborn were killed if you didn't have the blood of that lamb put over the door and on the sides of that doorpost. That firstborn was killed. And I love the instructions Moses gave Israel. He said, when you put the blood over the door and on the sides, go inside and stay. That's a good lesson for you and me today. When you get in the pool, stay in the pool. Don't be jumping back and forth and in and out. It's safe in the pool. God's blessing is in the pool. God's favor is in the pool. We may have to deal with some things, but there's always safety in the pool. When you get in the pool, stay in the pool. Fourthly, for this week, when you get in the pool, you've got to stay, because God's intention for you is not necessarily going to mature overnight. Not only is it a safe place to be, you need to stay when you get there, because sometimes God's plan doesn't just happen overnight. You've got to be willing to wait, and you've got to be willing to stay in the pool while you wait. Abraham, remember we talked about him already. Abraham was called out of that pagan lifestyle, from outside the pool to in the pool. He left it all and went and got in the pool, and he stayed in the pool, and it's a good thing, because it took 25 years for God's will for him to finally come to pass. 25 years he had to stay in the pool. Now we know he made a little mistake here or there and jumped out of the pool and got over in the splash pad with Hagar there one time, but he learned right quick he needed to get back in the pool, and he got back in the pool, and at the age of 100, God's will finally came to pass. Joseph had to stay in the pool while he was waiting for God to make him the leader that He said he would be. 13 years he had to wait. David was anointed to be king over Israel by the prophet when he was 15 years old, but would not become king until he was 30. And then would have to wait several more years until he finally became king over the whole region. But none of this would have happened if they would not have stayed in the pool. My friend, I can't encourage you enough. There's safety in the pool, and you need to stay in the pool, because God's plan for you, it's just not going to happen overnight. You need to stay in the pool until God does exactly what He said He was going to do. Hey, well, I got to get out of here. We got one more day. We're going to talk about this thing, and I believe we're going to bring this thing home and get some clarity to it. I look forward to being with you right here tomorrow on Friday's edition of Take 5. Until then, God bless you. Have a great day. Hey, when you get in the pool, stay there. It's safe in the pool, and wait there, because God's plan is coming. It may not be tomorrow, but it is coming, my friend, and He'll be looking for you. Will He find you in the pool?